And we are back on Professional Wrestling, the podcast, the home of the one and only professional wrestler Mason Rush. And speak of the devil, he's back yet again. He's our guy, superstar from HPW, the one and only Mason Rush.
You just can't keep me away, can you?
Absolutely
just
not.
Keep showing up, knocking the door down, and talking to you.
They're loving you too much, buddy. They're just loving you so much.
You know, hard work pays off.
Speaking of hard work, a couple of shout-outs as we start today's episode. Firstly, the Bible 3.0. So I'm Jonathan Hacohen, author of this book. And Mason, we are in physical book, ebook, and we just launched the audiobook finally with the one and only Ron Lopata, our audio producer. So that is out in the world in Audible, Apple Books. So pick up your copy of the Bible 3.0.
Don't miss it.
Then this episode is brought to us by a very special fan, is one of the greatest and biggest fans of Mason Rush. He's at Jeremiah at Direct. So Instagram, Jeremiah at Direct. For your car needs in Ontario, Jeremiah's your guy. It's Direct Nissan in Mississauga, but wherever you are in Ontario, go reach out to Jeremiah and he will look after you for your car needs, new and used.
Sold me my car.
And their next one as well.
And it didn't come with wheels, but that's a story for a different day.
Well, we got to upgrade them because you need those 30 tires.
That's it. Anyway.
And another late breaking news is our good friend from HBW, Mr. Jax Williams, is breaking the internet. So Jax on YouTube and on Instagram talking about how AJ Styles totally inspired him. People are loving that clip. Jax Williams, look at him go.
We knew it. Boy's a star.
He's awesome. A good buddy of yours.
Good buddy of mine. Great human being. And top member of HPW.
Check him out.
Mentor to all of us.
Check him out on social media. The Jax Williams. Jax. Or Z if you're in the States. Now, today's episode. Buddy, I'm gearing up because as we are taping this and people are watching it, it is now WrestleMania. And I'm actually in Philadelphia, so I've actually teleported myself. So I will be in Philadelphia watching the biggest WrestleMania of all time. And we're talking about WrestleMania 40 today. And you and I, as the wrestling experts, are going to be going through our predictions of what's going to happen in these matches and who's going to be the big winners and why. Are you all set for prediction time?
Can't wait. Bring it on.
Let's jump in.
Why not?
Okay, we got to jump off. Obviously, we know first night, the big tag team match, right? We have Roman and the final boss, The Rock. So Dwayne Johnson has two nicknames now. He's The Rock and the final boss. So they are facing off against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a huge match with big implications, the biggest tag team match of all time at the biggest WrestleMania of all time. So if Cody and Rollins win, no interference from the bloodline. They cannot be ringside for night 2 of Roman versus Cody. Got to keep all these people straight. But if The Rock and the final boss and Roman Reigns win, then it'll be a Bloodlines rule match in a championship match. Try to explain that to somebody who's not a wrestling fan. I tried to do that. It is very complicated. So bottom line is, who do you got on night 1? Who's going to win the big tag team match and why?
It's a good question. I'm gonna have to go. It's all storyline based, so I think I'm gonna have to go with Cody wins the tag match. That's my prediction, because then you're gonna have Bloodline free for night 2, and whoever wins that match will most likely be clean, I would assume. And whoever takes that belt home will have earned it clean. You don't want to win the belt with Solo Sikoa beating your opponent up, right? I think they both would want to win it clean. So that's my opinion. And then we'll talk about the next match in the future. However, I think the first night main event, you have Cody winning the tag and going on to night 2 with no bloodline rules.
As your wrestling manager, Mr. Mason Rush, I respectfully disagree on this one. I'm seeing very, very strong images into this match. It is definitely going to be the Bloodline taking this. There's no doubt in my mind. And the only question is, I see for sure there'll be one double cross. The question is, there'll be two double crosses, and when and how. So for sure, I'm seeing visions that Rollins is going to screw Cody. The only question will be on night 1 or night 2. And The Rock is going to turn on Roman. It's going to be night 1 or night 2. But bottom line is, I'm seeing definite images here. I think that Rollins is going to turn on Rollins is going to turn on Cody, and Bloodline is winning this match, and it'll be a Bloodline rule match for night 2.
Fair enough. I see similar, but I see The Rock turning on Roman night 1. As if you've been following the Mason Rush rise, when you trust a slimy partner, you get burned. And that happened to me. I thought Tantrum was my friend. He didn't take the tag, got my ass beat, and the rest is history. But I think night 1, The Rock screws over Roman. Night 2, he's there somehow in a different way. But I think that's more what I say. So same idea.
Yes.
I just think night 1, it happens. And I don't think Seth screws Cody night 1. I think they win night 1.
Yes.
The screwing happens on The Rock side, and then night 2, most likely the other side, somehow.
So let's go over to night 2 now. And
Okay.
so we'll alternate. So we're going to start now. We're night 2, and we're talking about the main event now. So we got Roman Reigns, right? And we're going to have him versus Cody Rhodes. Now, in my world, it's going to be a Bloodlines rule match, okay? That's the way it's going to go down.
Okay.
Now, in my vision, there's no way Roman Reigns is losing because he has to beat Hogan's record. That's the way it's going to go down. Cody is looking weaker and weaker leading up into WrestleMania. You have The Rock beating up on him, the Cody crybabies. All the momentum is on Bloodline side. I think Cody's walking in really, really weak into this thing. On the Bloodline side, if we're going to have a Rock turnaround, imagine on night 2, because you have Bloodlines rule. So now we're depending on The Rock to take care of everything. Rock is the one who turns on then on night 2. So now we're thinking that Roman is going to lose, and then Seth comes to make the save. Or rumors are MJF comes, tries to save Cody. But regardless, it's not going to be a clean finish. That's how you're going to have the story continuing yet again. Get Roman to win the championship, screw Cody over yet again. And we're building up at this plot line. And then once he beats Hogan's record, Cody can go win it another pay-per-view. That's how it's going down. That's my story.
That's your story.
I'm sticking to it.
That's your... I agree. I think that is valid. I see Roman winning because I agree they want that record. There's no reason at this point to give that up to beat Hogan. I called MJF a while ago, and I think you disagreed with me a while ago.
Still disagree.
You still don't think he's MJF. I think MJF will most likely make an appearance. Could be wrong, but yeah, that's what I see happening is Roman winning the belt night 2 and taking it on to another pay-per-view where Cody eventually will beat him, and if not Cody, someone in that time will earn their spot to take it.
If MJF music plays in that match, the way CM Punk's music went off at Survivor Series, people are going to lose their absolute minds. And the only way around this is if Seth is going to turn on night 2, that he's the one that does double cross then possibly on night 2 to counteract MJF. Otherwise, you're going to do the MJF-Cody combo. Maybe Cody wins it. Or maybe, if we have to do it, how about a third double cross where he comes to help Cody seemingly, and MJF screws him at the last second, and that's how Roman wins it. We're building up with a Cody-MJF feud for a while.
However Cody loses, I agree it won't be 1, 2, 3 clean pin. We can, theorize and play around with how it's going to happen.
Yep.
Who's going to come in, MJF, whoever it is. But yeah, I think we're in agreement that Roman will win.
Yep.
And it won't be clean.
Got a few more matches to get through. Let's go. We're going to have them through rapid fire. So next one, the Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre match. Your turn.
Drew McIntyre.
Yep. No doubt.
It's time.
Yep.
It's time for him to win. Other than the valid CM Punk about the shoe polish in the beard, which was a good one. I'll give him that. I think he's got it. I think he's put it all together, and I think WWE makes a huge push worldwide. Who better than Drew McIntyre, right, for the UK? I for sure see that happening.
It's pretty bad when the most exciting thing of that match is CM Punk coming on Raw and giving his interview, and all of us wanting to see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Drew is a bit of an afterthought, and CM Punk now with commentary. CM Punk's obviously going to get involved somehow in this, but I think Drew's walking away with this thing. I don't think anybody's, besides Cody and how they're weakening him, Seth is looking like the real, I hate to say the ugly sister, but he is really, really weak going into this. He's whimpering away. It's time to get the belt off of him. He has to go. He's getting stale. Let's move on from Seth. Drew's winning this thing, hands down.
I don't know how stale he is, but I do think that it's Drew's time. I think that a fresh face with the belt would be a good idea, and again, it'll bring in fans. I know for a fact. I follow people from all over the world on Instagram. Scotland is a massive Drew McIntyre, home base, and I think they would go crazy if he won. I think it'll be great.
And I love heel Drew McIntyre. I love where he's going with it. So let's do it.
A hybrid heel.
And then let's
hybrid heel Drew McIntyre.
And Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk all day. Let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? And Drew McIntyre's got a little beef with everybody. Logan Paul, they can mix a lot into that story.
Next one we got, so we agree it's going to be Drew McIntyre. Next one is my future wife, Iyo Sky, and versus Bayley. And I'm going to let you know right now that Bayley is winning the belt. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And that's where it's headed. Sorry, Iyo, but Bayley's got a lot of momentum. She's a face now. People are excited. I don't think Io's actually doing much with the belt. I see Bayley walking away with
this. Yeah, Iyo has to be one of the longer placeholders for that belt, I would say, right?
Last little bit.
Right? Like a champion that really wasn't meant to hold it for a long time. I think she had a good run. But I do 100% see Bayley winning. The role model. She's, in my opinion, one of the best female wrestlers around.
Yep.
Most polished, well-spoken, athletic, right? The whole pack.
Hall of Famer. Bayley's no doubt Hall of
Famer.
Period.
First ballot.
Period. Next person we're going to talk about here. So we have at Chosen Ollie over here coming into our go over at Chosen Ollie. She's joining us for this.
Ollie loves wrestling.
She's a huge wrestling fan. She sits for every single episode that I watch.
Her favorite wrestler is Hornswoggle.
She's a little bigger than Hornswoggle.
Not much.
So talk about one great wrestler in Bayley. Number two is, I think, the greatest female wrestler going right now, and that's Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley, I believe, is going to be beating the man Becky Lynch. No doubt about it. Rhea's got this match in the bag, and we are going to be building towards Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. That's where it's going. Your thoughts on the Rhea Ripley Becky Lynch match?
They love bringing family members in these days. Have you noticed that? They love making fun of whether it's deceased or mentally ill or children. They love really playing with those emotions. With that being said, I don't think talking about the man's daughter is going to give her any extra power to beat Rhea Ripley. I think it'll be a great match. Two deadly wrestlers, right? Like both future Hall of Famers. But I do see for the story, Rhea wins, and you get another year of the man coming in and doing great promos to take the belt back. It's kind of like almost like a female Cody storyline. You think about it.
And the man's got a book to promote, like I do, and she's got a book tour like I do. So she's got places to be.
She's second to you on the book charts, right?
I think on the spirituality list, she's a little down, because, the Bible 3.0 being a lifestyle guide and spirituality.
Yeah, but just copies sold. She's definitely at least now below you, I would say.
Very much so. Absolutely. But that's where Becky's at. And thinking about it, Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill, I think as far as pure sheer size and everything, that's going to be a fun match to watch. I think that's where we're building up towards.
Assuming Jade Cargill knows how to wrestle, yeah. Because I haven't really seen it, and when she's asked about it, she says she makes so much money she doesn't even have to do it, which may or may not be valid, but Rhea Ripley sure knows how to wrestle.
So as long as you know how to do a spear, and you know how to do a jackhammer, it's good to go ask Goldberg.
Yeah, no, for sure. But again, Rhea Ripley is all-world talent, so right? I got to step up your game. When you watch a Nia Jax, you realize when somebody isn't at the same level as someone else, it stands out. And sometimes you get hurt.
You're right. Next match. Not really sure why this is on the card, but it's there. Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I guess we need a quick squash match. Is that the idea?
You need an emotion match. That whole match has been, right? David versus Goliath. The whole, that exact play on your emotions, big guy versus little guy. I see Chad Gable somewhere. I somehow in that match, before, after, during.
Right. Why wasn't Chad Gable?
I think somehow maybe Sammy will get injured. He'll get beat up behind the scene. Somehow Chad Gable will be, whether he's in it or involved in it, it becomes a three-way. This whole Chad Gable, every scene being the nice, it's not for nothing. It's not wasted. So somehow with that, that's going to be your wow factor. It won't be the Sami Zayn versus Gunther. It'll be
Gunther. Yes.
I think I said it right.
German's excellent.
Yeah, I try. But yeah, I see Chad Gable being involved somehow. Three-way, interfere, however it is, but he's not an interference guy, so somehow fair. He will be involved in a fair manner. That's my assumption.
Who is walking out of WrestleMania with the IC belt?
Gunther.
Agreed. It's just close enough. They're giving Chad Gable his time in the sun, which is great, but it's Gunther's time still. Until we find somebody that's on par with him, I'm not there for him dropping his belt yet.
I can't. Remember the short stint, Owens and Sammy tag belts?
Yes.
Just didn't look right. It didn't they didn't seem great.
Like an AEW with Sammy, when you had Sting and Darby Allin walking around with the belts. It's just like they're placeholders. They're not.
That still made more sense. Sammy, he's a energy guy, great wrestler, crowd fan favorite. I just for some reason the belt doesn't look great on him.
Okay.
So Gunther will hold his belt. And there will be a new stable of wrestlers to challenge for that belt. Chad Gable probably being the leader of that stable.
I'm very, very excited for when Imperium implodes a little bit. And we're going to have a case where our boy Ludwig Kaiser is going to turn on Gunther, and when they're going to go to Germany. And that'll be a fun match. I think that's what they're going to build up towards at some point. So Gunther keeps the belt. Let's have a little interfeud with Imperium. Bottom line is Gunther's walking away with the belt. WrestleMania. Next. So we're pretty much on par for quite a few of these matches. So yeah. We're on
other than the main one and how it happens, yeah.
The time waster match where 8-way tag team, 6-way tag team. Who do we have here? We have the Judgment Day as champs, which is still
again
odd.
Yeah.
And we have DIY, we have the Awesome Truth, New Day, and we'll have either Profits or Theory Waller at that point.
You'll have Miz Truth.
Or New Catch Republic versus Legado del Fantasma, my team. Who is winning the tag team belt after all this insanity?
You almost have to say the champs walk out with the belt. Who else is going to take it from them? You're going to give it to DIY? Johnny Gargano? Really? I don't see anyone there really challenging Balor and right?
So
I just don't see it happening.
I'm going to say, and I may change
Money in the Bank.
I may change a vote here. So I see the possibility of Awesome Truth winning back the belts because they just keep putting them on. Let's have them for a little while. But what will happen, we keep forgetting, Senior Money in the Bank still has the briefcase. So if you're right and the tag team belts are dropped, what is going to happen is in the McIntyre-Rollins match, they're going to pull what happened with Iyo Sky. So McIntyre is going to win the belt. He's going to have it for about 3 seconds. Priest is going to cash in. Priest is your new champion in that case because there's no way that he's walking out with no belts out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, or he wins the tag belts with Balor. I agree. He has to cash in. He's had that briefcase forever. They're almost booking the next Money in the Bank.
Right. They did.
Yeah, right.
We'll be watching it.
Yeah, exactly. So, right. So he has to do something with it. And I think, he'll win the tag belts. He'll try and cash in, and he'll unsuccessfully cash in.
I agree with you that if they're walking out of there with the tag belts, that he will try to cash in and fail the attempt then. But I feel ultimately he's walking out of there with some kind of belt. Damian Priest is on a good high.
Yep.
I hate the feeling of him walking out of there with no belts. And if he is walking out of there with no belts, at some point, I'd like to see him face Gunther at some point. I think that'd be a fun match.
Yeah, he can also, I mean, don't forget there's the Raw after WrestleMania, which is also a massive Raw, PLE style event. So
I'll probably be there too.
yeah, right. So they could follow that up too, right? He could win it, McIntyre could take it back. Like they can use both nights to play on the emotion there with that one.
Uso versus Uso, do we care? And is there any momentum in here, and who's winning this one?
Do we care? Yes, because they both have really good entrances, and with those two, that's half of the spectacle with them. So I think just having an entrance battle between the way they each do it will be awesome to watch. And then you'll have your typical Uso style wrestling, right? High flying, some good splashes, some good Samoans, this typical stuff. But again, I don't see that one ending clean either, because they could build that up for way longer. So whether Solo comes in, or you get a Rikishi comes in and does whatever it is, I don't see that ending clean, but it will be a great match.
Are we going to have the Usos hug it out at the end and come back together? Please tell me yes.
Not at this one.
Not yet, eh?
No, it's too new. They still have they still have so many one-liners to go back at each other with that they could post on T-shirts. Why wouldn't they continue with it?
For some reason, I feel like this should have happened sooner. There was more momentum for this match a while back. They saved it for WrestleMania, but I feel like it's not going in with a lot of momentum for me, at least. I feel it will be a good match. Ultimately, I think Jay is going to win it, but I think they will hug it out, but they'll still stay as face and heel, and they'll have to figure that out. There'll be a bunch of weirdness, but I feel like the hug is coming, but I could be wrong.
Hug is coming. I don't think it's this WrestleMania.
Next one, your boy Logan Paul is facing off in a three-way match with Randy Orton and against Kevin Owens. Very strange United States Championship match. Do you care about this match? And for me, I think Logan is walking out of there. I think there's going to be a bunch of cross-ups between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. They'll start a feud together somehow. I think Logan's going to sneak out of there with a win. That's my prediction.
I agree. I think Logan will sneak out of there with a win. I think that it's a shame he doesn't get his singles matches, and they're kind of having to not hide him, but get him help in his matches, because when he had months to prepare for his first match, another month to prepare for second, now they're coming faster, so he's got less time. The holes are showing, so I think that they got to start putting him with veteran guys to make him not stand out as much in terms of being a little bit less experienced than them, and those two can carry anybody. So I think that's a big part of it too. I've noticed that. But I do think storyline, prime deal line,
Going on the map.
I think Logan wins. I think he has people on his podcast. He just had Randy Orton on his podcast. He had Kevin Owens. So it's a business. Again, as I say on all these podcasts, you have to take a little bit of the business with a little bit of what the fans want, and make a good mix of the two.
Okay, so we agree on the match, and I think it will be interesting to see as far as Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, either one turns heel. I don't think so, but I think there will be a cross-up. I think at some point they will have to face each other. Logan will be out of the ring. He'll be unconscious somewhere. They can't find him, and then the two are going to have to face off. At the last second, after they beat each other, he'll come and quickly scoop them up for a win.
With his brass knuckles.
That's it. Last one is your guy that should be facing someone for a belt, and he is not. The one and only LA Knight against jacked up AJ Styles, which, by the way, the Good Brothers, I see they're on his diet as well. So do we care about this match?
I want to be on that diet.
But
I do care about the match.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a great match. AJ Styles, as our boy Jax very well explained last podcast, is incredible, phenomenal, some would say.
I see that.
And I think he can, not that LA Knight needs carrying, but I think the two of them together will put on a great match. Right, what LA Knight makes up in athleticism or lacks in athleticism compared to AJ Styles, he'll make up in showmanship, vice versa, and they'll work together to put on a great show. I have no doubt. Yeah, I don't think every match needs a belt in order for it to be worthy. You can just have two awesome superstars battle it out and make a storyline from that going into maybe the IC title.
You ready to be shocked?
Always.
I think this is going to be the match of WrestleMania. This will be the one. I think this will be the one that because people are really behind LA Knight. People are very frustrated that he doesn't have a belt around his waist. I think it'll be a huge amount of support. Nobody puts on a better show than AJ Styles. AJ Styles can carry him because as far as what LA Knight lacks, as far as actual ring skills, AJ Styles has it in spades. I think they face off against each other quite well. I think it's gonna be a great match. Just gonna be a great match. Ultimately, AJ Styles is gonna put over LA Knight. LA Knight is gonna win this match. LA Knight continues his momentum and just waiting it out. And maybe at some point he's grabbing a belt. And I think ultimately either he faces Gunther at some point, or he's the one to take it off Logan Paul. One of the two at this point.
Agreed. Yeah, I think it's on purpose that his sizzle has faded a little bit, but I think you're gonna see a big pop at WrestleMania between those two.
It's called the CM Punk The Rock effect. Second, you bring those two personalities in, a lot of guys suffered, and I don't think anybody suffered more than LA Knight without The Rock, without CM Punk there. I think we're seeing LA Knight a lot more elevated, but that's okay. He'll still find his way, and when he's going to persevere, I think he'll be stronger for it. You can catch this superstar at MasonRush33 on social media, and loves to engage with his fans. Hamilton Pro Wrestling Superstar. I'm his manager, Jonathan Hacohen, author of the Bible 3.0. That's our WrestleMania predictions. This is Professional Wrestling, the podcast. We'll see you all back very soon. And coming up in the next week or so, you're going to be seeing a very special guest. Can we see who it is?
Let's wait a bit.
Sorry, folks. Stay tuned.